running the ball, winning the turnover battle. That's usually a recipe for how his teams are successful. Just a lot of credit for, I know they lost the last two, but losing their quarterback and still have a chance to win both of those games, to me, was very, very impressive. I think this team starts their image, obviously by their head coach, but this middle linebacker, Logan Wilson, he's 250, 6'2". I think he played high school quarterback or something. He's a skill guy, but he's a great football player. Seems like we've been going against 30 and 46, for 5 years, that they've been there forever. I think both of those guys are outstanding football players. I think up front they play a lot of guys. They do a lot of movement. In the back end, their secondary is very, very aggressive. They've always had safeties that are aggressive in the run fit. They play good man-to-man when they play defense, and they're very opportunistic in the turnover ratio. Offensively, I think, obviously losing their quarterback hurt, but they're going to run the ball first. Tyler, what's his name? He came to our Tyler, I think, has an outstanding arm. There's one clip of him rolling to the left and throwing a deep out back to the right that you're like, whoa, watch, this guy's got an unbelievable arm. They're going to be able to get, we're going to have to commit guys to the box, and they're going to have one-on-one matchups outside, and they'll take their shots. I think they're very, very good. In the special teams, 25, Conway has no fear as a punt returner. He's going to have a chance to get the ball. He's going to pick it up, and he's going to run. Their kickoff returner, number 9, I believe, Tyler Hall. They don't have a lot of returns, but when they do return the ball, it's extremely dangerous. I think they lead the conference in kickoff return. Again, just a well-rounded football team that does a lot of things right in all 3 areas. They get lost yardage plays on defense. I think they lead the league in tackle for losses. I think they've got 30 sacks. Offensively, they want to stay on track and not put themselves in bad situation. They play good team football. Coach Bowl and his staff are good coaches. It's going to be a big, big challenge for us going on the road to Laramie. It'll be the 3rd time that I've been there. It's always an awesome atmosphere, in my opinion. It's a hostile place to play. There's no love lost between the 2 teams. Their fans are in it. They're very, very energetic, very passionate. Sometimes you like, getting on a bus and going to play somewhere like that. So that's going to be a big challenge for us. It's something that we're talking about, having to execute in a hostile environment. But we're looking forward to the game. It's Friday night, 7:30.
Mike, you talked about how your team's done well with drowning out outside noise, staying focused on 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
Does it become difficult when you have to win these next 2?
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest, because that's something I don't talk about as, win the next 2, what are you thinking about? I kind of say, hey, this is what it's going to be. Last year was a rough year. We really didn't have a chance to win a lot of games. This year is, I've been really, really proud of the team because every game they come and play their tails off, play extremely hard. We just got to take advantage of opportunities that are there in games and get out of our own way. And, got over the hump a little bit, winning 3 games in a row. We had a little setback last week. Walked in the meeting room yesterday, and one of our coaches, as I was walking in the team meeting, said, we're going to see how they're going to respond right now, now. And I was thinking about it as I walked in, and I just said to the team what the coach said. I said, I know how we're going to respond, like we have all year. We're going to get ready. We're going to fight our tails off because we talked about last week being physical. This is going to be a physical battle. It's going to be I think the name is appropriate, border war. I expect our guys to be ready, excited. There's not a lot of guys in there that experienced, a victory against Wyoming. We want to win this game for a lot of reasons. This game means a ton for a bunch of people that have played this game, that love Colorado State, that love Wyoming. And we will win it for the guys in that room. I want them to feel what it feels like to have one of those moments. Played extremely hard all year, and we got to go out and get it done this week, hopefully.
In the past, a lot of you think you've worked with other coaches, done you bring in different people to speak about this, right?
Yeah, well, I've done that. I've done it for all 3 rivalries. I've done it for probably Wyoming more than any. 1 year I had every day somebody speak. Other years, may have a couple. I've had, I gave a little bit of border war lesson yesterday, about the oldest rivalry west of the Mississippi, the 110th game. If you count the forfeit that Wyoming doesn't count, I think they say it's 109 games. Or we don't count it? So it's the other way around. How many have we played then? 109? They say 110?
They give us one more win.
They give us one more win. Okay. So it's 109 or 110th time. I know they're winning the series since we started the bronze boot as the trophy. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. We'll talk about today, how the bronze boot came about. The guy that donated it and, the story in Vietnam. We'll talk about that a little bit. I might even have my guys, here at 6 a.m. on Thursday morning for the ball run, something I haven't done. So I don't know. There's a lot of things. I think it's important. The guys, important to those guys. They know it's important to the people of Colorado State, but it's really, really important for the guys in the room. And the only way, to have that feeling is to prepare this week. We can talk all we want about showing pictures of the guys raising the boot, of Wyoming chanting last year, how bad CSU sucks. Bottom line is, if we want to have the opportunity to hoist the boot and celebrate in the locker room, we got to get ready for a tough game.
You talked about making corrections. You gave up 8 sacks last game. This is a really good pass rush. What did you see on film and what has to be?
Well, 8 sacks last week was not ideal. A lot of them. We had a couple missed assignments where we turned a guy free, and those are tough to get away. And then some of them we got beat up front, and then some of them we had poor pocket movement. And I think we talked about those things. We watched them on film. We went out and had corrections on those things. There'll be some different things that we'll try this week to slow down the pass rush of Wyoming, who they do a great job when it's run. They do a great job of slanting and twisting. When it's passed, they do a great job of transitioning to pass rush and running their games or straight rushing. They lost a lot of guys up front, but the guys that they play have motors and play hard, and they move them a lot to give them advantage, to get them on edges of guys. So, it's stuff that we got to control with a running game, helps pass rush. Again, I wasn't pleased with our running game last week. We got to be committed to that a little bit more. And then we got to do a better job in the pocket of moving around, not taking sacks. And as a play caller, you got to do a better job of things that can get out a little bit faster.
What types of things do you think Patrick O'Brien needs to work on the most that kind of were maybe showed up in this game with Air Force and that pass rush to make him a better quarterback going forward?
It's we had a picture. Coach Rick had a picture. I wish he'd have gave me one, but he had one in his house, and we put one in our meeting room. And it was a picture of the quarterback standing like this. It was a painting, all right? And it's just like mass chaos all around the guy. There's guys that are reaching across trying to grab him. There's a guy blocking a guy with his hands in his face. One guy's eyes look, almost crazy. I think another guy's bleeding. And that quarterback is just calm as it can be in that pocket with all that chaos going around him. That's what he needs to work on. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be chaos. Can't focus on the chaos. You got to focus downfield. And he did, he's got to go from 1 to 2 a little bit faster. And then we got to call things that aren't full progression reads and, get him comfortable and get the ball out quickly. But to me, if you play that position, you got to be calm amongst the chaos. That doesn't mean you don't step up. That doesn't mean you don't scramble. That means your eyes are focused and you're doing your job. You're going to get hit. You're going to be bodies around you. You got to stand in there amongst the storm and deliver the pass.
Have you seen teams start to do some different things, extra attention on Warren, over the last month or so as he's really emerged?
Well, it's not, every week I think that we got to be ready, that they might cloud to Warren. They might, they played a little what I call lurk coverage last week, Air Force, but they didn't run to Warren. They ran to, Trey into the boundary and still played outside leverage on Warren to the field. Guys will play some cover one, and always the low hole player, the high hole player would cheat to the guy. Obviously, you can cloud him when he's in the boundary. I think we move Warren around so much. He plays split end, slot, flanker. He plays all 3 positions for us. I think it's a little bit difficult if you're playing a zone type coverage to, where you're rolling it and that stuff. Man, you can tilt a guy to him, but hadn't seen a lot. I think it's because we do, move him around. Now, when I had A.J. Green at Georgia, and we were very, very traditional in what we did offensively as far as formations, I had a different coverage every week. You'd see some crazy stuff. But the last couple of years, we've seen some different stuff from when we're in our 21 personnel of how they play too deep and disguise it and, cloud our receivers. Because when we're in 21, it's a heavy run formation and you got your split ends to throw the ball. So I've seen some different stuff from them. They've inverted to the field. They've inverted to the boundary. 2 years ago, it was to the field. Last year, it was to the boundary. They do a lot they played nickel against us last year. They had two very good safeties and did some things coverage-wise. They're very, very creative defensively. We're gonna plan and look at some things, but I guarantee you we're gonna get some different stuff of how they do coverage-wise. They're the one people that'll change it around. Now, at the end of the day, it's a 2-high or 1-high scheme. It's just who's playing those positions.
Like, is it a little hard as a play caller sometimes to be as committed to the run as you might want to be, knowing that you have those weapons?
Yeah, no question. There's no question of that, but we're not the greatest pass protectors right now. I mean, you get one-dimensional. Guys pin their ears back, and you got to be on at that quarterback position. You got to get the ball out quick, and you got to do things to slow down the pass rush. I think when you're committed to the run, that slows the pass rush down and is the quarterback's friend. And I said after the game not last week, the other night, I got away from the run a little bit because, some safeties were making some one-on-one tackles when we got guys blocked and we're getting 2 yards and, you get, all right, well, I got Warren out here and Dante out here. I'm going to take some shots. And we missed some, you missed some. We threw 4 posts and hit 1. You go 50-50, it might be a different game. And then again, the wind played a little bit of a factor there in the first half. And whether it doesn't seem like it, but who knows around here, it could play a factor Friday night. I mean, I'm watching that film 2 years ago, and it's just a beautiful first half. And then you go to the next play, and it's the first play of the second half. Wow! And that was a great game. That was one that you wish you were on the winning side because that was a true border war traditional fight. And I was proud of our guys that day. Josh Allen just put the team on his back on that dang drive and took them down the field.
Like, what plays to go? Go ahead.
What do you see in, you just talked to me about Patrick O'Brien's story. Nebraska comes here, takes over kind of the middle of the season, and then all he's done is just shine for you.
Say that. I'm hard of hearing right now.
Patrick O'Brien, can you just
The last part. What'd you say?
about how he's taken over and all?
Okay, yeah. Been really pleased with Patrick. Patrick is a transfer from Nebraska, a kid that we recruited out of high school from California. Came in last year and tried to get a waiver, didn't get a waiver. Had to sit out a year. And that's always tough on a kid and didn't really get to compete, but competed in the spring, competed in fall. Came out as our second string guy out of fall, him and Justice, and ended up kind of taking over. A guy that has tremendous ability and arm strength, can throw the deep ball pretty well. Really well as Zach, to be a Zach. I know we missed a couple the other night, but throws a deep ball very, very accurate. Has mobility and has a strong arm. He has come into his own fundamentally, to be a great quarterback and to execute at a high level. He's got to continue to improve on his fundamentals, and that's what he's working on now on a daily basis. As far as a leadership role, I think he's taken over that role. You have to be a leader playing the position of quarterback. He does a good job communicating with the guys. We huddle a lot now, so you spend more time with your guys in the huddle and being able to talk to those guys. But he's growing into who he is. He's being Patrick. He's a little more laid back than Colin. You have to, he likes to have a good time and joke with the guys, which is fine, but he's learning when to, focus and go to work and be the quarterback he needs to be. But, for us to win this ball game, if he has to play better fundamentally. He has to play better fundamentally. And I think, we can still be as explosive. I think that he can, still put up good numbers and give us a better chance to win when fundamentally he's better. We're not very good fundamentally right now. We're throwing it all over the yard. If we get, like I told him yesterday, if you get good at doing what you're supposed to do all the time, there's no telling how good we could be.
Is it relieving for you knowing his starts the year as the backup. Now he gets his chance, and he's just running. Is that something that's?
Yeah, it's something you talk about all the time that you've got to continue to work. Even though you're not getting a waiver, you got to work in the off season. You got to learn this offense. You got to prepare. And then, he's a backup. You're one play away. But human nature, sometimes, think we're not quarterback. Well, I'm not playing. And I think he learned that when he went in the Arkansas game. And he's had a couple games where, he probably wishes he could rewind time and start over and be really, really serious like he is now. But that's what I told him. I said, it is what it is right now. You gotta work your tail off to put yourself in the best position to help this football team. And he's done that, and he's taken off with it.
You obviously have a lot of experience with big rivalries with Georgia and all that.
Yeah.
Talking to Jamal Hicks after the win over UNLV, he said he wanted the guys to just have more hatred for Wyoming.
Yeah.
Air Force. What he's saying. Do you agree with that, or is that?
Well, I think they hate us. I think that, there's no doubt about that. They hate everything about CSU. I want us to go out and play a game and take advantage of our opportunities is what I want us to do. We're playing hard. We can have hatred. We can love them. I don't care. I want to kick their butt, and they want to kick ours. If you want to hate them to do it, I don't think that's I think there's hate, there's teams you dislike as a coach and a player. I had them as a player. You had them as a coach. I would say the Wyoming-Colorado State we dislike each other rivalry. And then you have the friendly rivalry somewhat. I'm going to talk about other schools like Georgia-Auburn is kind of a friendly little rivalry. Oldest rivalry in the South, it was friendly. It's competitive and it's a hard-nosed football game, and it's always kind of determined, where you're going to have a chance to win the SEC because it was late in the year after the Florida game. Georgia Tech was a dislike rivalry, a hatred. So I'd put Wyoming in that category if that answers your question.
Is it easy to get out of your game if you focus too much on the emotion of it?
Yeah, that's every game. Kids have emotion. There's emotion when you're in a locker room. There's emotion when you come out. That emotion, doesn't last too long. You got to be focused, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You got to execute. Defense plays with a little bit more emotion and energy, and that's what gets them going. Now, they still have to have that responsibilities, but you always can get too hyped up and try to do too much, and make a mistake for your offense, defensively, or special teams. Instead of just doing your job, which you've always done. People don't like to hear that. Hey, you can't just do your job. It can't be just another game. Well, that's you do your job and you go out there and you perform. I mean, the greatest coach in the country, probably the greatest coach ever. That's the same every week. Do your job. It doesn't matter who you're playing. Now, do we want to win? Yeah. Do we haven't beat one? Yeah. But we got to go out and do our job. We played our ass off the other night against Air Force. Played our tails off. And then, maybe wanted it too much. I don't know. There's something to be said for that, but sometimes you just got to go play and do your job.
Different style of running attack this week, but nonetheless, they've been really good at it. What makes Wyoming, I guess, so adept at running the ball?
That's what they do. That's what they do. They are tough, hard-nosed. They obviously have good gap schemes. They run the power a bunch of different ways. Which is, they screw with your fits. They're, one back and two back, and you don't see a lot of these run schemes inside anymore. Everything's kind of on the edge, and, it's hard to practice those fits. We don't run a lot. We don't run power, really. Not a lot of people run the power that they run, and so that, makes it hard on the defense, but they run it a lot of different ways. They're committed to the run. They have good play action off of it and good nakeds, bootlegs. And then, with the quarterback that can run the ball, that was a, added dimension. Now you got your power game with him. Well, for some, outside runs. They're not as much now with Tyler, but he can do some of that stuff. He's a big, strong guy.
Is it similar this week where you're facing a team that's fine with ball control and putting the game in the hands of its defense? Does that affect you, like the play caller?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, this is a very similar game to two Air Force. You know, they're not running the option, but they're going to be ball control. You know, it told our team yesterday it's going to be a physical game. You had to play your tails off in your physical last week. We're going to have to be more physical this week. We're going into a hostile environment, to a team that's physical as well, that basically wants to kick our butt. You know, how you going to respond? You got to stand up, be a man, and hold your ground. You know, there's a lot of that in it as far as the emotion type stuff you're asking. But you got to strain. You got to strain in these type games. But as far as, you know, reducing the play sheet as much as you did against Air Force, probably not. You usually get the same amount of series against a team like Wyoming, but they can take a ball and be ball control. But so can we. Hadn't been as much this year because we've been as explosive. But you know, example was that the other night. The first drive was a ball control drive.
Mike, do you bring up your team the bowl possibility?
Do I bring it up? No, they
Two
no.
wins, and you're talking about you got to just focus on one.
No, I haven't. I mean, I brought up the rest of the season at the midpoint and who we got and laid it out. They know that we've got 4 wins. You know, they know that you need 2 more to be bowl eligible. I don't think it's something I need to focus on with the team. I need to focus on getting ready for Wyoming and standing up for what they're about to bring. It's going to be a challenging game. You know, can't look ahead. You got to get ready for this team.
Patrick's first board war for you guys. What do you have to tell him, or anything you have to tell him this week?
The kids' first border, the ones that are.
No, for Patrick.
Oh, Patrick. We'll talk about the environment. You know, yesterday we talked about, you know, what's the name of the game is, why it's a rivalry, how long it's been. Today, I mean, each day, not just Patrick, the whole team. Now, quarterback, I've always said when you go on you're playing on the road, to win, you got to have good quarterback play. You got to have good quarterback play. It's going to be especially important playing at Wyoming. That's a hostile place to play. They're going to be packed out. They're going to be yelling. You know, I don't know if I'll get yelled at as much as I get yelled at home, but I'll get yelled at there at Wyoming. But it'll be – I can't hear anyway. That was just joking. But it's one of those things. You got to focus and do your job. Go back to that. You know, you don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. I mean, doing your job, play after play, fundamentally gives you the best chance to win. And we're playing another team that, you know, that's what Coach preaches, doing your job, play after play, and then the breaks will come your way if you continue to do your job. You go either way and try to do something different because it's Wyoming game, then, you know, you're putting yourself at risk to make a mistake that could cost you. It's doing what you do all the time in a big moment, in a big game. That's why they say, you know, big-time players play big in big games because they can continue to do their job in big games. They're not affected by the moment. And to me, the way I get Patrick ready for that moment is to focus on fundamentals. Focus on fundamentals. Focus on your feet. Focus on your eyes. You know, doing your first step. You know, those things, you know, create good habits allows you to play good in big moments. Now, if you don't have good habits, then your habits break down and you make mistakes.